We are going to take a look at the things that you can do in order to earn 4,000 hours worth of watch time with a single video and get your channel monetized. I did it with my very first video and I have reproduced that multiple times over, and today I'm going to show you exactly what it is that I do in order to accomplish this feat. There is a trick to it we're going to talk about in just a moment, but before we do that, I need to show you the things that are a little bit more crucial to the foundation of a video like this. The first thing you're going to need to do, and the absolute most important thing you need to focus on, is finding the right topic. You might want to use the YouTube inspiration tab in your studio dashboard. It's a great place you can go to get ideas for the videos that you need to be making. Even if the ideas for videos that you're already doing right now is working okay, you can use this inspiration tab to get a better understanding of what it is viewers are actually looking for and what they're actually responding to, so that you can kind of cater the things that you're already doing towards the stuff that they are responding to. Obviously, you can find out what's trending on social media using Google Trends and stuff like that. It is more important to have a long-term point of view and a long-term perspective on the videos that you're making. Rather than focusing on the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, which spiked big time in views and now nobody cares about, focus on topics and cater towards topics and trends that will have a little bit more consistency. They're going to have a little bit more long-term value. They're going to be topics that people will continue to be watching years from now. Remember this, it is easier to create one 5 million view video than it is 10, 50,000 view videos. Rather than focusing your time on trying to come up with these videos on a constant schedule and hammering yourself just so that you can get 500 or maybe 1,000 views on a video, focus on really hammering down on that topic and making a really good video with the mindset being, I am going to compete with 5 million view videos. That is the goal. Focus on the kind of content that you need to do in order to fall into that category. This is probably the most important thing you need to be looking at, is you need to film with the thumbnail in mind. Before you begin filming your video, you need to already have a plan of attack. You need to already have an idea of what that thumbnail is going to look like. It is absolutely normal for big time YouTube creators to go and create the thumbnail before they ever even film the video. That way they know what the packaging is going to look like and they can cater the filming of their video to that packaging because they know this is what is going to get clicks. Now, the things that you can do that I highly suggest doing before you ever film and before you create your thumbnail, you need to do a search for the video that you are about to make on YouTube and see what the other creators are already doing. Not only do you want to see what it is they are creating topics about and how you can take a little bit of a different tangent on the same subject, but you also want to see what sort of thumbnails they are creating. Is every thumbnail that everybody's making about this certain topic blue? Then maybe you need to be making a red thumbnail. You are not going to know unless you do a simple search in advance so that you know exactly going into that video what is needed in order to stand out, fit in, and do something that is exceptional and, catches the viewer's eye. The third and absolutely most important thing that you need to be focusing on when you are trying to create a video that is going to earn 4,000 hours of watch time is focus on the video itself. You need a video that is going to be something that people are just absolutely enthralled with. If you're not already doing so, you need to familiarize yourself with the 3-act structure. I don't care if it's a how-to video you're about to make, it absolutely will help if you follow along the lines of a 3-act structure when making your how-to video. It is going to keep people more engaged, it's going to keep retention better on your video. It works. There's a reason why we've been using the 3-act structure for hundreds and hundreds of years, regardless of the medium. You also absolutely need to be focused on the single most important piece of real estate on your entire YouTube channel, and that is the first 30 seconds of your video. Don't waste everybody's time, and don't waste your most valuable real estate with some kind of introduction that everybody sees at the very beginning of every single video. It gets old and nobody cares, and it doesn't provide anybody any value. You need to be using this space of the video to give the absolute most entertaining, most bombastic, most amazing part of your video, whatever it takes to hook that viewer and keep them engaged in watching the video, that is what that part of the video is for. The first 30 seconds of your video absolutely needs to be the most compelling part of your video. A moment ago I mentioned that there was a little bit of a tactic, a little bit of a trick that you could do in order to improve your videos that you're trying to get 4,000 hours of watch time on. That was called an information gap. I foreshadowed, using a storytelling technique, I foreshadowed a thing that I was going to be talking about, and I alluded to it, letting you know that this is something we're going to be talking about. But before I did that, we have to talk about this other thing first. That is an information gap. There's a gap in the information between what I'm telling you and what you need to know, and you have to watch the video in order to get to the end of that information gap. It's a thing that people use in order to maintain retention. It keeps the viewer interested. You need to do that not only in your video like I just did here, you also need to do it in the thumbnail. I talked more about that in a previous video, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse, but I'll let you watch that one and we'll get on, and let me give you the actual closing of that information gap. So the other thing you can do, it's like a little bit of a trick. This isn't for everybody, but understand how this works. Obviously, if you are trying to gain watch time, well, the thing you're going to need to do is make longer videos. And I'm sorry to say that, and I hate saying that because it's a dangerous and it's a very slippery slope. You don't want to make videos longer just for the sake of making them longer. Understand that for decades and decades, the average runtime of episodic content that you watch on television as well as on YouTube and other platforms has a runtime of between 19 and 24 minutes. So if you watch a 30-minute episode of television, you're getting 19 to 24 minutes of actual content that you're watching, and then you've got, 6 to 10 minutes worth of ads that are being placed on that entire 30-minute segment. If you film a video that you intend to make 10 minutes long and you go through and you're like, you know what, while in the editing you can cut out all this fluff and all of the fat and it ends up being a 3-minute video, then you probably need to shave that 3-minute video down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Shave that down to as short as is necessary and then a little bit shorter. So how do you make your video longer? Well, you can film more interesting things. When you are filming, if you are doing so following the 3-act structure, you are implementing additional content into your video that is going to, lengthen it out a little bit. You need to provide more value in your video if you're going to try to get people to watch longer. I cannot stress this enough. One of the things that you can do is focus on making the video an interesting and an entertaining watch on television. Television viewership right now on YouTube is absolutely huge. They're the #1 streaming platform out there. They just whooped Netflix. Make your content palatable, make it consumable in a way where viewers enjoy watching it on television. You're going to binge multiple episodes. At least generally speaking, you will do so more than you would on a phone. If you cater your content to a TV viewing audience, including stuff like, a little bit of mention at the beginning of the video, hey, this was the thing that you missed in the previous video. And at the very end of your video, mention things like, oh, this was a really cool thing that we just did. If you want to see more, well, I've got this next thing coming up. I love doing that on my fishing videos, showing everybody what happened yesterday and the previous trip, and also alluding to the things that they're going to get to see in the very next fishing trip. I get to pad the beginning and the end of my video with this additional information from the other episodes, and that encourages a binge session. They see that previous stuff, they see the next one, and they're going to want to watch that next video. Of course, all that footage is the stuff that I use at the beginning of the very next video. It's a cycle that feeds itself. The top 10% of all 30-minute videos on YouTube are sitting at 50% retention. So, if you make a 30-minute video, if that's the average of the kind of video that you're making, you need to be earning 50% retention on those 30-minute videos in order to be in the top 10% of all 30-minute videos on YouTube. That number increases to 60% for 10-minute videos. So if you're making 10-minute videos, the top 10% of all 10-minute videos are earning 60% retention. For a 3-minute video, 80% retention. Take into account that TV viewership and how they watch a video versus how somebody does on the phone. Somebody on the phone is watching that 3-minute video. Somebody sitting on the couch and watching television, they're the ones that's watching the 30-minute video. Be mindful of that. Finally, don't panic. If the video doesn't explode right off the bat, it's totally okay. Give it some time to air out. The very beginning of a video's lifespan is catered and targeted towards your subscribers and the people who have watched your videos in the past. That is not necessarily your target audience. If you have 100 subscribers, then your target audience is not the 100 subscribers who have already subscribed to your channel. You want to get out there in front of new viewers. Those new viewers, they don't know who you are, and they're going to respond to titles and thumbnails and the topics that you're presenting in a far different fashion than how your already subscribed audience is going to respond to it. You want to give that thing a few weeks before you ever take any kind of consideration as to making adjustments to that video, which is something that you should absolutely consider. If after 6 weeks that video has just completely flatlined, it's not going anywhere, not gaining any more impressions, and the CTR is kind of poor, you should go back if it's a good video, especially if it's getting a lot of good watch time, it's just not getting clicked on, and maybe if it has a very high CPM, then you need to go and re-envision that thumbnail and title, the packaging for that video, and try to give it a kickstart, try to give it a second life in search and the other traffic feeds on YouTube. If nothing else, if your video fails and you don't earn your 4,000 hours of watch time, you sit there for 2 years and you're rehashing the thumbnail and the title, that is absolutely something that is completely normal to do. Let's say none of that works. Use this as a growing step along your journey in the process. Study that video. Study the analytics. Subscribe to this channel so that I can help you study those analytics. Get a full understanding of what about that video caused it to not exceed expectations, and learn from that so that you can improve future videos. You are using the information that you're gaining from those videos to improve future videos. By the end of 500 or 1,000 videos, you're going to be performing very, very well. I promise you that. I need a refill. I've got a couple videos on screen for you here. If you are absolutely in need of a little bit more information, I would very much enjoy having you along. Maybe consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.